Surgeon, the tactical, honed decision maker with almost too much to study. Surgeon is a style that appears confusing at first, but can be unboxed and figured out relatively quickly after you start trying to learn it. Most people will likely compare it to Freedom, since its biggest trait is the 3 different modes it has. Rather than changing up its damage and speed though, Surgeon primarily focuses on switching modes to apply specific types of debuffs. For basic info, Surgeon is a boxer puncher that can be used however you want to. Its walk speed is universally above average, and while the first punch of Surgeon does solid damage, the rest of the M1 string tends to lack in power. It does slightly above average block damage, but doesn't have too much in terms of anti-heal. It also has some of the worst adrenaline gain in the entire game, that meaning it requires way more hits before it can actually do decent damage off of a perfect dodge. Its dashes are average, and every variant of its heavy attack is also a pretty average swing. Please note that all of these traits carry across all 3 modes, and the modes only change what Surgeon swings at and damages. Now, what I'm sure you actually want to know is, what do the modes do? Well, it's honestly pretty simple. Head mode, when swapped to, deals bonus counter damage to your opponent. Chest mode lets Surgeon deal more chip damage through their block. Liver mode causes the opponent's dashes to consume more stamina every time they're used. The status of these 3 modes will be visible in the upper right corner of your screen, showing the 3 different sections of your enemy's body. Depending on the mode you're in, further damaging that area by attacking will cause the effect to worsen. This is showcased by that section on the body becoming yellow, then orange, then a deep red when it's close to max. So, if the enemy's head is red, you're dealing a lot of counter damage. If their chest is red, you're dealing a lot of chip damage. A red liver means their dashes severely affect their stamina economy. The opponent can, of course, remove these effects, and that's primarily done by attacking you. Whenever you're hit, the opponent will recover some of the debuffs they've accumulated, but this will mainly apply to whatever mode you're currently swapped to. So, if their chest is red and you're currently in chest mode, being hit will likely cause chest to drop back into orange. I hope all that makes sense because I'm doing the best I can here to explain everything properly. A major thing is that you can also stack multiple debuffs, that meaning multiple areas of your opponent's body can be affected at once. Both their chest and their head can be totally in the red and will give you a vast advantage against whatever you're dealing with. You can obviously do the same with the liver and swap things around. Switching off of a mode you want to keep in the red will allow it to stay red for longer, since you won't be losing it by getting attacked. You can then use that time to accumulate another debuff. Now, if you want a simple strategy, here it is. Use whichever mode you think will affect the enemy's style the worst and stick to it as much as you can. If you're fighting a shotgun, focus on the head section to have them get totally demolished by your counter damage, since shotgun is already extra weak to it. Use chest mode against styles with stronger blocks, like Turtle or Iron Fist, so you can damage them as much as humanly possible. Use liver mode against styles with already awful dashes like Switch Hit to make them dashing pretty much doom them to getting destroyed by you if they mess it up. Beyond that, Surgeon revolves around a lot of adaptation. You can, of course, say this about almost every style, but I think this applies most to Surgeon because of the fact that you can directly counter whatever your opponent is the best or the worst at. If you notice a pattern, like them blocking early or you countering them frequently, Surgeon makes actually abusing that weakness an extremely accessible option. Finding a rhythm you feel comfortable with when switching modes can also help exploit this. Rotating through the modes consistently to whittle your enemy down can keep your debuffs high and, hopefully, their defenses constantly low. Your base stat line allows you to absorb some attacks and keep pressure, but not to the point that you can do that forever. The debuffs you deal do not deteriorate over time and only go away if you get hit, so feel free to back off and keep some distance if you need to recover or establish a game plan. Furthermore, switching your mode doesn't actually incur any cooldown, so you can constantly swap at will to attack whatever you want, whenever you want to, so rotating quickly to switch things up and throw off your enemy is just as viable of a strategy as being simple and focused on one spot. Your debuffs also persist into the next stock if you get knocked down, so don't feel bad if your pressure ends up getting you killed. One final note on Surgeon is in regards to its ultimate. While the ultimate only deals 40% damage, making it one of the worst in the game, it afflicts a special condition like Hands Low does. This effect is called Sedated, and when affected by it, your enemy's screen will become desaturated, their audio will become muffled, and their camera will track their body much slower, which can cause a lot of confusion and general disorientation after this lands. The general idea is to use this ability by throwing your ultimate early and then taking advantage of their confusion to come back from a losing standpoint or even gain a lead. While this isn't an inherently bad effect, you may run into people that have gotten used to this and aren't as hindered by it, so be advised when trying this strategy against more seasoned players. So, in the end, Surgeon isn't as immensely complicated as it looks on the outside. You have 3 modes that afflict different types of debuffs that will always hinder your opponent and force them to work around it. You can either use these modes to worsen their greatest weakness, or spread out your capabilities to slightly cripple them in multiple areas. Your line of attack may greatly vary depending on who you're fighting and what style they're using, but Surgeon is quite versatile and can easily make up for whatever it may be lacking in that specific matchup. Just hone your skills, choose a line of attack, and Surgeon may actually outperform your own expectations. With this technical guide, now finished by me, Dave Pyramid, I'm sure you'll be playing some Operation on your opponents, or something, I don't know, I couldn't really come up with a good one-liner for this one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!
The phone down!
This is for my safety.
Put the phone down!
This is for my safety.
Put the phone down!
This is for my safety.
Put the